Vice City is more than neon lights and pastel suits. It feels like a working place, with stores that anchor a mall, bars that anchor a scene, hotels that sell a postcard, and little jokes that only work because the world underneath them holds up. Today I am touring 6 spots that show how the city builds itself with brands, signs, and Easter eggs you can actually miss if you're not looking. I am using a free camera so we can slow down and take our time. No cheats, no chaos, just the city and the details that make it breathe. First stop, North Point Mall, and the fashion anchor everyone remembers by name, GASH. The joke is obvious, but look past the punchline and notice how the store behaves like a real tenant. There is a clean entrance, a window display that pulls you in, racks that form paths, and a register zone that reads as the Pay Here spot. It does not feel like a flat wall. It feels like a landlord approved a floor plan. Walk the racks and you find the thing I love most about Vice City's humor. It often sits quietly in the background. Among the graphic tees, there is a shirt that just says, "No fanfare, no spotlight." It is hidden in plain sight, which tells you how the writers expect you to interact with this world. Explore, linger, reward curiosity with a smirk. The mall as a whole backs that up. You get a believable tenant mix, an anchor for clothes, a hardware or outdoor shop, a record or media store, a food court with cheap calories. Even the lighting is tuned for a place where people actually shop. That is why the jokes land. They are sitting in a place that behaves like a real mall. Second stop, the biker bar, the greasy chopper. This is where Vice City's texture kicks in. The bar counter is solid and worn, and the back wall looks patched and repainted a dozen times. Neon signs compete for your attention, and a jukebox gives the room a pulse even when you cannot hear it. The details that seal it are the beer signs and the real U.S. license plates bolted to the walls. They have license plates for real U.S. states such as Arizona, Arkansas, Alaska, Hawaii, and, oddly enough, Florida. These plates do more than dress the set. They hint at a world beyond the map we're restricted to. If these plates exist, those states exist within this world. People here travel between states. They are not confined to Vice City the way we are as players. That simple clue does a lot of world building and makes the bar feel like a waypoint on a larger road. Third stop, Ocean Drive. If the biker bar feels like subculture, Ocean Drive feels like the brochure. The hotels line up like characters, each with its own attitude. Pastel paint jobs try to outdo the neighbor. Some fronts are sharp and polished, others faded and chipped from the sun. You can tell the price of a night's stay just by walking past. This stretch is the picture most people imagine when they think of Vice City. What makes it pop is the energy on the block. Neon pulls your attention as you drive through. Even the corners feel designed to welcome you, not just turn you. The buildings look cared for, and with the beach sitting right across the street, the whole strip feels alive with tourists and money. You get that "I could stay here" feeling, even though you can't actually step into most of the hotels. Each one still throws off its own vibe from the sidewalk. Drop down to street level, and you'll find 2 storefronts worth noting, sitting almost side by side. First is the pharmacy, Ryton Aide. The name is the joke, but the building is pure Vice City. Harsh fluorescent light spills onto the pavement. Stickers in the window promise prescriptions, cosmetics, and the usual pharmacy mix. Through the glass, you see wire racks and a long counter, built to look like a real chain store from the era. A few steps later, the tone shifts. A mattress shop, or at least something like it. Joe's Beds, proudly claiming to be the best in Carcer City, a clear nod to Rockstar's other game, Manhunt, another thread tying the worlds together. Inside, it feels half abandoned, just a handful of mattresses on the floor, no frames, price tags curling, graffiti on the walls. The lights are bright but uneven. The store gives off very creepy vibes. It sits in that space between open and shut, real and sketchy. Maybe it's a jab at shady retail, maybe just a prop designer having fun, but it works. It reminds you that not every block is polished. Some spots sag around the edges. And in a city sold on glamour, that one uneasy little shop makes the glamour around it feel more real. Final stop, Vice City Airport. Airports are where a city pretends to be bigger than it really is, and the game uses that to link Vice City to the rest of the series. On the approach roads, billboards pitch flights to Liberty City. Airline ads sell the idea of movement. Arrivals, departures, connection. You don't need a working departure board to feel it. A livery and a billboard are enough. They say this city isn't just a backdrop, it's part of a network. Before wrapping up, there's one more quick detour. A quiet block of shops, clothing stores, blank windows, nothing much, until you catch the wink. A storefront for Rockstar Games, complete with a window display of the GTA 3 cast. It's an Easter egg, but also a statement. Liberty City isn't just advertised at the airport, it shows up in the glass of a store you could walk past. The worlds are tied together, not just by name, but by placement. So why do all these stops click together? Because they hit the layers every real city needs. Malls anchor retail, bars anchor subcultures, hotels sell the postcard, airports frame the region, chain stores like Ryton Aide give the everyday texture. Half-alive stores remind you that not every block is thriving, and cross-game nods stitch the series into your head. Placement does most of the work. GASH sits in a mall, not a side street. The biker bar sits on a block that already feels theirs. Ocean Drive stacks hotels where the beach view sells itself. Airport ads face travelers, not locals. Ryton Aide grabs a corner that begs for foot traffic. The mattress shop clings to a lease it's already lost. The Rockstar storefront hides in plain sight, so the world doesn't break around the joke. Scale matters too. Nothing here is oversized. The airport isn't massive. The mall isn't endless. The game gives you just enough to believe, then uses sight lines and small details to finish the illusion. That's why it still holds up.